God almost got clapped by. I got life saving all of
Thanks for coming. Running a bit late.
He's trying to get me to learn this. Are you gonna maybe next year I'll work at Are you gonna work as like the conservation dudes, or are you gonna work? Either that or like. Do it in 2 years when we go back. That's true. My cousin was out there for concentration, and he joined us for like 2 days. Oh, that's awesome. It's kind of interesting. Honestly, it made the trip better because we were all tired of it. No, I heard it, dude. You idiot. You guys don't have my dad. Okay. I'm really excited. No, I got stressed out hearing. That was not the rest of it. I was getting stressed out hearing that. Dude, we had this conversation. You can't remember today. Well. I was cracking off. It was really. You guys named each other. Oh yeah, we named our I think so. What
do you say? Ready to do this?
Already.
Alright.
Hey, how you been, Jack? I like your parade. Yeah. We should all wear berets. That'd be so fun. That'd be another scouting. I want to take it off. It's like near there. I think I've been doing it after it. Or we should like get a program.
Yeah, especially for the it's so good this movie, dude. For all the wrong. It's
But there's a reason we chose the back.
You want to be able to see what's going on.
No, then you can see us.
You're not doing anything wrong. Oh my god. Thank you. I'm just like
I'm good at
you know northern tier crews are mixed? Like age-wise?
okay, mine was very mixed, but that was because I was shoved in there. I was with Kyle and Carl and stuff.
Okay.
Chris.
Wait, yo, tell me one country that doesn't have red, white, or blue flag.
You got like a small candle.
No, Ian's gonna burn.
That has red, white,
You guys, or you could just go over.
Yeah.
Jamaica, no, Jamaica's red.
Oh, wait, is this your seat? I'll go for it.
Jamaica's is blood red.
Thank you so much.
Red and white.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is great to be here with you today. My name is Rob LeCount, and I'm the Scoutmaster with Troop 461. And it's a pleasure to be able to assemble today and to honor two of our Eagle Scouts, James Alzona and Richard Hahn. And for kicking off our ceremony today, I'd like to recognize our SPL Senior Patrol Leader, Anthony Levry, to present the colors. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the opening ceremonies. Color Guard, advance the colors. Scout salute. Color Guard, post the colors. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Everyone please be seated. very much Anthony and the members of our color guard for opening our ceremony today, as we do with all of our scouting activities, by recognizing the importance of our great country. The ability to gather here today is only made possible because of the liberty and freedom we enjoy as American citizens. The Pledge of Allegiance, like the Scout Oath, reminds us that we must remain true and committed to these values in order for them to survive. Today we are proud to recognize two outstanding young men, Richard Hahn and James Alzona, who are living proof that these values are alive and well. They have emerged as the best of our troop, and we are proud to be here to recognize their journey. They have committed themselves to these high ideals of scouting, and they are a testimony to what is truly possible in all of us. I would now like to introduce Rick Lingle, our Troop 461 Eagle Advisor and former Scoutmaster. And Mr. Lingle will serve as today's Master of Ceremonies. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. It will be my honor to act as Master of Ceremonies. My understanding, this is the first time we've live streamed an Eagle Court of Honor, so everybody out there watching the live stream, welcome. I'd also like to introduce some distinguished guests. First, for the Hahn family, we have George and Yvonne Hahn. Welcome. And with the Alzona crew, we have Elizabeth and Gus Alzona. Alan and Bennett, I didn't get your last names, but welcome. And Suzanne Ray. Welcome. And finally, Cecile and Marcus Alzona. I'd also like to recognize the Eagle Scouts in the audience. Would you all please rise? I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us when you earned your Eagle. Let's go left to right.
Nicholas Pomainville, 2022.
Gabriel Account, also 2022.
Shahan Rajapaksa, 2021.
Matthew Lingle, 2019.
Rob Account, 1987.
Brian Hill, 1985.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for being such a good example. Please be seated. I'd now like to call upon Scout Brett Norris to give the opening prayer.
Thank you. Scout's prayer. Our Father, make us trustworthy, for there are those who trust us. Make us loyal, for through loyalty we reach our highest ideals. Teach us to be helpful, for through helpfulness do we forget our selfness. Make us friendly, for there are so many who need a friend. Train us in courtesy, for courtesy is the carpet on life's floor. Make us kind, for kindness is the oil in the cogs of life's machinery. Insist upon our obedience, for victory comes only to him who obeys. Make us cheerful, for cheerfulness is the green grass among the rocks on the path of life. Train us in thrift, for thrifty habits brighten our future. Make us brave, brave in the dark and brave in the light, but save us from becoming fakers in bravery. Help us to be clean in thoughts, in speech, and in deed. And may we remember that our bodies are thy holy temples, and that any abuse thereof is to tamper with thy great plans. Above all, O God, help us to be reverent towards all things which thou hast made for our enjoyment, and we are in thy great out of doors, among the trees, along the streams, and on the hillsides. May we know it as was thee who made the waters to flow, the trees to reach heavenward, and the mountains to endure to all ages. In all these things we ask that thou wilt help us, and may we never forget the Scout Oath to which we have all pledged ourselves, so that thy help we may live these points of our Scout law. Amen.
Thank you, Brett. So it's now time to officially open this National Eagle Court of Honor. It's my pleasure to be here to honor these fine men who, after much commitment and determination, have earned Boy Scouts of America's highest award, that of Eagle Scout. An Eagle Scout is a young man who is alert to his duty to God and his country, participates in citizenship through the scouting program, and demonstrates fine fitness of character and body. In full awareness of the challenges of these times, the parents and leaders of these Scouts have labored long and faithfully to develop today's Eagle Scouts. The success of these efforts will become evident in the way our new Eagle Scouts conduct themselves in their lives and how they much touch others in the future. Unlike the ranks leading up to Eagle, the Eagle Scout Award is not made at the troop level, but at the national level. Let it be known that our Eagle Court of Honor this afternoon is conducted on behalf of the Boy Scouts of America. I hereby declare this National Eagle Court of Honor officially open. I would like to now invite Troop 461 Assistant Scoutmaster, Mr. Tibor Roberts, to the podium to provide us with a little perspective on the value of the achievement that our Eagle Scouts have earned today.
Thank you, Mr. Lingle. What is it worth, the Eagle Medal? Well, in dollars and cents, it's worth about $20, about $10 in silver, 25 cents worth of ribbon, and the rest in manufacturing and handling costs and profit. But it is also, of course, the highest rank a scout can earn. And what is it really worth to you scouts? Think back a year ago or 7 years ago when you first became a scout, and remember the scout skills that you learned for each rank, the rededication to the scout oath and law each time you advanced. Think of the service that you've given to your troop and to other people. Is the Eagle Medal worth only $20? Of course not. Your Eagle Medal is priceless. It represents everything that you've learned, everything that you've done to be prepared, to help others, and to help yourself. So now you stand on the peak of the mountain. Eagle Scout, now look ahead, look sharp. Way out there in the mist is another mountain, and there below is the trail to your future. It may be a long trail or a short one, but it leads to that mountain far away. As you walk down the trail and as the years roll by, and you finally reach the end, we all hope that you can look back at the trail of life and be able and proud to say, I have done my best.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Will the Honor Guards please escort Richard Hahn and James Alzona to the stage? Thank you, Honor Guard. Return to your seats. So welcome. Big day. It's a pleasure to see you here today, and on behalf of those assembled, I want to tell you how proud we all are. You've worked very hard for this moment, and the many patches and awards in your uniform are a very visual reminder of your accomplishments. But what you've earned here today is something much deeper than a simple piece of thread. Today, you represent the best of what scouting is all about. When a boy becomes a Boy Scout, we try to instill in him that which we call the spirit of scouting. Each of you have demonstrated time and time again your commitment to this spirit. I'd now like to call upon several members of your troop to come forward and help us re-examine the steps of your journey to Eagle. I'd like to ask Jack Hill to lead us during this review.
Will Ryan Wang please come forward? Would you please light the candle for Scout Spirit? This lighted candle symbolizes the spirit of scouting. This spirit embodies the principles of the Scout Oath and Scout laws. It becomes a shining beacon of inspiration, Alone this light may be feeble, but when multiplied by the millions of boys in scouting, it can become a very powerful light indeed. Ryan, will you light the candle for the Scout Law? When a boy enters scouting, he promises to obey the Scout Law. This Scout Law becomes a part of every day through action. There are 12 parts to the Scout Law, all equally important and meaningful. Each is an important cornerstone in building of a strong character. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And finally, in the Scout Oath, the Scout promises to do his best to do his duty in all that he does. Ryan, will you now light the candle for the Scout Oath? I dedicate myself each time I repeat the Scout Oath. Will all Scouts please join me in the Scout Oath? On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people's lives, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Thank you, Ryan. As you can see, the light of the spirit of scouting grows and strengthens. As a scout progresses along the advancement trail to Eagle, he not only physically grows from a boy into a young man, but these ideals of the Scout Oath and Scout Law grow and mature within him. Will Scout Gabriel LeCount, our Order of Arrow, keeper of the Eagle Flame, please enter our ceremony?
It is important that each of us understand the meaning of the Eagle Scout rank. The appeal of the majestic eagle has been felt by every great people from prehistoric times to the present day. To the Egyptians, the eagle was the messenger to the gods and the sun, a symbol of eternal life. To the Romans, he was the carrier of Jupiter's thunderbolts and a sign of power. To the American Indians, he stood as the incentive to valor and the pledge of victory. For us, the eagle is a living symbol of all courageous and freedom-aspiring Americans. The Eagle Badge was designed in 1912 to be a small silver eagle suspended from a red, white, and blue ribbon. The white candle, like the white of the Eagle Badge, stands for honor. The first responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. An eagle's honor is sacred. Honor is the foundation of all character. Character is what one really is, not what he thinks he is. An eagle's life should influence his family, church, school, and friends in a positive manner. May the white of the Eagle Badge remind me to live with honor always. The blue candle, like the blue of the Eagle Badge, stands for loyalty. Without loyalty, all character lacks direction. An eagle is loyal to his ideals. Neither pain nor profit, pride nor personal loss shall change him in his loyalty. May the blue of the Eagle Badge remind me of loyalty. The red candle, like the red of the Eagle Badge, stands for courage. Courage gives character, force, and strength. Trusting in God and with faith in his fellow men, he faces each day unafraid and seeks his share of the world's work to do. May the red of the Eagle Badge remind me always of courage.
Thank you, Gabe. Before we award this highest rank of scouting, it is important that we make a careful review of the qualifications of our Eagle Scouts here before us today. In order that all may understand the completeness of our review, individuals of each rank will report his qualifications. Will the designated Scouts please come forward? Jake Hill is the scout.
Scout. A candidate earns Scout by understanding and promising to live by the Scout oath and law. He learns the Scout motto, slogan, and salute, and understands the significance of Scout badge.
Landon O'Kim is the Tenderfoot Scout.
My 3 points stand for the 3 parts of the Scout Oath. You find me in the Marina's compass, forever pointing the way to the North Star, and a safe journey in life. The 2 stars represent truth and knowledge. The shield is the emblem of a nation molded in justice, and the eagle guards the freedom of my land.
Chris Min is the second-class scout.
The ends of the scroll are turned up in the willing smile of Scout. On the face is the Scout motto, "Be prepared," and suspended from the scroll is the knot, tied there to remind us of the Boy Scout slogan, "Do a good turn daily."
Cameron Fisher is the first-class scout.
I was a tenderfoot, and I laid my course by the stars of truth and knowledge, and girded myself with the righteousness of justice and freedom. I added a smile that might be a friend to all, and bound myself together with the knot of duty to others.
Ryan Gleason is the Star Scout.
Now that I can stand alone, I have earned the right to improvement on my own. To me goes the honor of choosing my field. Before me lies the horizon of endless opportunity.
I am the Life Scout. I have shown the world that scouting is in my heart. I have mastered knowledge of subjects that will benefit my country and my fellow man. I'm ready to reach for my wings to fly. Nicholas Pomainville is the Eagle Scout.
It has been a long, hard, but wonderful road. I have mastered my goal. With deep humility, I now stand as a representative of the best that scouting can accomplish in the lives of boys. May I pass on to my younger brothers a portion of my knowledge.
Thank you, Scouts. Please return to your seats. At this time, I'd like to introduce Brett Pomainville, Troop 461's Assistant Scoutmaster and former committee chairman, to talk about what it takes to become an Eagle Scout.
To attain the highest rank in scouting, our candidates were active in the troop and in their patrols for several years, demonstrating scout spirit and leadership each step of the way. Richard served successfully in numerous positions of responsibility. He served as scribe, quartermaster for 2 terms, patrol leader for 2 terms, and assistant senior patrol leader. James served successfully in numerous positions of responsibility as well. He served as historian and assistant senior patrol leader. Both scouts earned a minimum number of 21 merit badges, 12 of which were from the Eagle required list. They planned, developed, and gave leadership to an Eagle Scout Leadership Service Project. They passed a district Eagle Board of Review comprised of prominent persons in scouting and the community by satisfying them that they had done their best to understand and live up to the Scout Oath and law, and in all ways qualify for Eagle Scout. At this time, I would like to ask Troop 461's Assistant Scoutmaster and Eagle Advisor, Mr. Lingle, to talk about the Eagle projects.
Thank you, Brett. I'm back with my other job. So the importance of the Eagle Project cannot be understated. And I'd like to offer a brief description of the Eagle Service projects in order for you to better appreciate their individual effort. Many more details are available in their Eagle books. Their binders should be here, if you would like to review after the ceremony. So first up, Richard's Eagle project was in support of the church and the outdoor chapel. For his project, he planned and led the landscaping of the outdoor chapel, which was part of a 5-portion Eagle Scout project. He added shrubs and mulch, and overall, his was the last project that kind of beautified it. And he did this in collaboration with the other four scouts, Colin and Tim, Matt Ewell, Gabe LeCount, and Mike Marola. And he really did a nice job and kind of capped off that really nice project. So well done, Richard. And James's Eagle Scout project was also in support of the church. So James planned and developed a permanent live stream broadcast center to broadcast Mass from the St. James de Chantal church. He upgraded the wiring and the audio and video systems and installed new microphones. Now, both of these projects were really important to the church, and had they gone out into the regular community to do that, it would have cost a lot of money. So, the church is our beneficiary, and they hold our charter, and free of charge, they allow us to use the facility, and it's a really great relationship, but we do give back. So, thank you both for excellent projects, and well done. Right. At this time, will the honor guard please escort the parents of Richard Hahn and James Alzona to the stage. Also, I'd like to ask Assistant Scoutmaster Eddie Levery and former Assistant Scoutmaster Sula Rajapaksa to come to the stage to assist me in the presentation of the Eagle Award to our candidates. Will Eagle Scout candidates Richard Hahn and James Alzona please rise? Unlike other Scout ranks, once a Life Scout passes his Eagle Board of Review, he's not yet an Eagle Scout. His Scout application must go through 2 more reviews, first at the local council level and second at the national level in Texas. Only after a successful review at these 2 levels is he approved as an Eagle Scout. Richard, before Assistant Scoutmaster Levery and Assistant Scoutmaster Rajapaksa confer upon you the award of Eagle Scout, I'm sure you'll agree that some other special persons should be accorded the privilege of standing with you and in some measure share these high honors. Would the parents please stand by their son? We'll make James stand.
It is with distinct honor and pleasure that I, on behalf of the National Court of Honor, present you with the Eagle Scout Medal. As a symbol of her involvement and pride in this achievement, I would like to ask your mother to help you pin this medal on your uniform. Richard.
It is now my privilege as Assistant Scout Master to present you with your Eagle Scout certificate and your Eagle membership card. As I understand, you already have it at home.
No one will ever know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice and helpfulness from the mother of this Eagle Scout who's led us to this day. As a symbol of what this mother has made possible, the court now asks Richard to present a miniature eagle pin to his mother. Your father has stood over you or by you over the years, and I know he participated in high adventures and many hikes because it was a fun time hiking with you, George, and has offered his encouragement and assistance at all times. As a symbol of what he's contributed to your attainment of this award, the court now asks you to present him with a miniature Eagle Dad pin. Please be seated. James, it is with distinct honor and pleasure that I, on behalf of the National Court of Honor, scratch that. James, before Assistant Scoutmaster Levery and Assistant Scoutmaster Rajapaksa confer upon you the award of Eagle Scout, I'm sure you agree that your parents should be accorded the privilege of standing alongside of you. Would the parents please stand by their side?
James, it is with distinct honor and pleasure that I, on behalf of the National Court of Honor, present you with this Eagle Scout medal. As a symbol of her involvement and pride in this achievement, I would like to ask your mother to help you pin this medal on your uniform.
It is now my privilege as Assistant Scout Master to present you with your Eagle Scout certificate and your Eagle membership card.
Again, no one will ever know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice and helpfulness from the mother of this Eagle Scout who has led us to this day. The symbol of what his mother has made possible, the court now asks James to present his mother with a miniature eagle pin. Your father has also stood by you over the years and has offered his encouraging assistance with not only you, but the troop. So thank you, Marcus. As a symbol of what he's contributed to your attainment of this award, the court now asks you to present him with the miniature Eagle Dad pin. Parents, you can be seated. Richard, please stand. I'd now like to ask Matthew Lingle to come to the stage and administer the Eagle Charge to these new Eagle Scouts.
have the honor to give you the Eagle Scout charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in scouting. The Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant moments in the world's history, and you've been counted worthy of this high rank in the Boy Scouts of America. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as well, you know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to all Scouts. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow Scouts to your country and your God. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these things depend, for the most part, on the quality of her citizens. Our country has had a great past. You are here to make the future greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the high level of service to God and to your fellow man. So, live and serve, that these who know you will be inspired to the finest living. We have too many who use their strengths and their brains to exploit others and to gain selfish ends. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and the ability to the common good. Build America on the solid foundations of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God, and whatever others say or may do, you leave behind you a record of which every Scout may be justly proud. On behalf of the Court of Honor of the National Capillary Council, Boy Scouts America, with the high hope that you will always represent the finest of character and citizenship, we welcome you as an Eagle Scout and congratulate you, your parents, and Scout leaders.
Thank you, Matthew. The parents of the new Eagle Scouts may return to their seats. So this concludes the formal part of our ceremony. Now we're at the opportunity to get to know these Eagle Scouts on a more personal level. So I say the fun begins. You both can sit. So I will kind of kick off. You know, I was your Scoutmaster for both. Since Richard's senior, you know, Richard, it's been a pleasure. And, you know, I remember you as, you know, an 11-year-old young Scout and very quiet, but you had your nice core of friends. And you certainly did, I think you did all 3 high adventures, right? Correct? So you were always there for a camp out, for sure. And like I said, I always enjoyed hiking with your father. Somehow we always kind of gravitated towards each other, somewhere in the back of the pack. But job well done. Your Eagle project was excellent. And congratulations. And James will always have Philmont. Right? James was in my crew in Philmont, or I was in James's crew. We had a great Philmont crew. It was a really, really good crew. I think we all grew that week and had a good time, and it was very, very memorable. Again, James, you've come a long way for sure from probably the smallest guy in the troop. Now you're taller than me, so that's great and good for you. And both we have college sophomores here in our presence, so not the typical the way we do Eagle Court of Honors. This is a little late, but better late than never. So again, well done. And the only piece of advice I'll give both of you is just remember that we always talk about the character test, right? right? You know, some points in your life, you're gonna come to that fork in the road of the character test. And it could be as easy as, should I use that GPT for my homework or not? Or it could be something really momentous, where left or right, you know, it could affect people's lives. So just remember, when you hit that fork in the road of the character test, and it can come quickly, that you just stick to the Scout Oath and Scout Law, and you know, it'll work, you'll do the right thing. So just keep that in mind. I'd now like to invite Mr. Ryan Hill, the Troop Committee Chair, to come to the podium.
Richard and James, by virtue of you earning the Eagle Scout Award, the Troop Committee has enrolled you as a 5-year member of the National Eagle Scout Association. You will be receiving your certificate of enrollment in the next several weeks. I encourage you and expect you to continue your involvement in Scouting and in the National Eagle Scout Association for the rest of your lives. I hope this will be a lifelong reminder of your accomplishments and the pride that we all feel in today. So the Assistant Scout Master has some gifts to present to you both.
James? Richard, thank you.
You may have once been a Boy Scout, but you will always be an Eagle Scout. Carry this honor and this designation throughout your lives with pride. On behalf of the Troop Committee of St. James Shaman Troop 461, I congratulate you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. So first, I'd like to open the microphone to any family who would like to say a few words about their Scout. All right?
I can tell James is getting nervous. So, wow, it's hard to believe that we are here today at James's Eagle Scout Court of Honor. I have to be honest, there were quite a few times last year when things were looking a little grim, and I didn't think we would make it to this point. But I'm so proud of you, and I'm glad we are here today. It is absolutely true what we were told for many years before today. Don't wait until the last minute to work on your Eagle Scout project and application. So this is why I wanted to extend a heartfelt thank you to the leaders of Troop 461 for sticking with James on his journey to Eagle. Rob LeCount, Rick Lingle, Sula Rajaspask, Larry McNeese, Brett Pominville, I'm sorry if I'm getting your names, I'm a little nervous. And the many, many counselors who helped James with his merit badges. The road was not always easy, sometimes even a bit bumpy. But because of your time and dedication, James is here today as his Eagle Scout Court of Honor. Thank you very much, and I want to congratulate you. I am so happy that James could be a part of Troop 461 and participate in the adventures, campouts, and all of the opportunities offered to the Scouts in the troop. I think about how he hiked 50 miles at Philmont with a backpack that was practically half of his weight, and paddled portaged 100 miles for the Northern Tier adventure, while also forgetting to pack his mess kit. I learned about that later. I wasn't there, so I really can't imagine that what those amazing experiences were like and how challenging they must have been. But I can say that these opportunities undoubtedly shaped James to be the young man that he is today. Someone who does not back down from challenges, adapts easily to new situations, is resourceful and undeterred, when he has his mind set on a goal. And honestly, sometimes that scares me a little bit. To give you an example, earlier this year, in the middle of February, James decided to go camping with his friends on Assateague Island during a wind advisory. I'm not gonna lie, I was very skeptical about this plan, but then I remembered that he had 12 years of camping under his belt, 6 summers at Goshen, and he had participated in the film on Northern Tier High Adventures. It was also reassuring that he had completed merit badges related to the outdoors, swimming, camping, orienteering, most importantly, life-saving and first aid. So he was very well prepared, and I really had nothing to worry about. I did hear that a pony did take off with some of their food, but they only stayed one night, so no one died of hunger. As his mom, I have to say that his determination to follow through with his plans or goals is directly related to scouting. His belief and conviction that anything is possible came from the challenges that were put in front of him, and that he was able to overcome with the help of his troop. James's love of the outdoors, his interest to help others, and to be part of a team, and his charming attitude, I've been told, are also things that he was able to cultivate as a result of being involved in scouting. Even though James has advanced to the rank of Eagle Scout and this is his last Court of Honor, the impact of having been involved in scouting and with Troop 461 will be with him for years to come. So thank you very much.
So anybody else? Mr. Hahn?
Sorry, I'm not prepared about this. But first, I really, should say thank you to the troop. Gave Richard this kind of opportunity to become a big boy, become Eagle Scout. I do remember when I first joined the troop. Richard like a very small, tiny boy. I'm a little bit worried about him. He's kind of skinny and kind of fairy. So right now you can see he become a big boy, kind of bigger than I expected. He's a premature boy. When he born, he just like 4 pounds. But right now you can see how big he is. That's making. Yeah, this is the Boy Scout is really awesome organization. Give Richard the opportunity to learn, to grow. I hope once he's right now he's a college kid, and once he finish college, can really serve the society, serve the troops, serve the country. Congratulations, Richard.
All right, I'd like to throw it out to any adult leaders. Have anything?
Hi James, hi Richard. So we're gonna gang up on you. We're gonna start in volunteer. So James was in the in my crew with Eddie, Mr. Levery, volunteer, and he was the orienteer. So he had the maps, and he was in the middle of the canoe, and in the beginning, he had this crazy idea that, okay, he's going to read the maps, that's all he's going to do. But that didn't fly well because some lakes, there are so many waves. Everybody has to paddle, otherwise the canoe's going to flip. And then I don't know how he's going to orient it again. But in the end, he did. He warmed up to the idea of paddling, not rowing, because he's a rower in his high school, right? So yeah, the guide corrected him many times. It's not rowing, it's paddling. They're different. So anyway, he even carried the canoe in all the portages. He did well, James.
My reflections on James and Richard Hahn. James, both of them exceedingly bright, both of them. James, he was always thoughtful. He, whenever asked, when we were portaging or when we were canoeing at Northern Tier, he was always, 100%, yeah, I'll do it, whatever, and he was always there whenever called upon. Richard, I went to Richard with 2 high adventures, Sea Base and Northern Tier, correct? Sea Base, yeah, yes. At Sea Base, Richard was always a great scout. He was always he always worked hard. He was always there whenever you needed him. He whenever asked to do something or whenever he required to do something, he always did it. I remember arm wrestling with Richard at at Sea Base. My arm never recovered from that. But both extremely smart bright scouts. Richard, I did some merit badges with Richard, and we did electronics, and he knew a lot of the answers before I even talked about subject matter. So I asked Richard, how he knew all this stuff, and it was just something he was interested in. But both bright scouts, both great scouts. You guys will have a great future ahead of you, and this is just something to help you in life. Congratulations to both of you.
So Richard, I didn't say much about it, but the only thing I can remember was the Philmont backpacking trip. I can remember you working very hard and being with the crew. Congrats.
Any other adult leaders? All right, I'm going to throw it open to scouts and friends. So just come on up. Come on up.
So this is just quick and unscripted, but I just wanted to say, Richard, I've never known anyone in my life with as many bug bites as you. Every camp out, your legs would be completely covered in bug bites, and I just didn't know how you lived through it. You've had so much stuff thrown at you over the years. I didn't know nature could be so cruel to somebody, but you handled it really well. You were really resilient, and honestly, that's really, really impressive. So, yeah.
So I'll say one thing. There's a lot that the Scoutmaster and the Assistant Scoutmasters don't see. So I'm kind of hoping to get some of those stories too.
So me and James have been in scouting together since Cub Scouts. So it's been a while. We're both 19. Are you 19? No, I'm 19. He's 18. It's been more than half of our lives, which is pretty crazy. So I've seen James through different heights, different hairstyles, and I don't know. I was trying to think back on all of the stuff we've done. Obviously, we've done Assateague like 5 times in a row. We've done Goshen, but I think the biggest things was definitely just high adventure, because I remember Philmont, and I remember James being in the very back, and that's it wasn't your fault because you were small, but we made it through every single day, and I don't know, it was very inspiring to see, because you didn't, you complained, but we all complained, but you still made it through. You're a very resilient guy, especially with just seeing and being there through all of these different moments. I remember Northern Tier, dealing with Luther, that weirdo. He was our navigator. He was a good character. But yeah, no, there's a lot of different campouts and whatever, a lot of things to say, but I guess the number one thing is that you're resilient. All right? Congratulations.
I just want to thank Richard for mentoring me and telling me what to pack on campouts. He taught me a lot of things about compasses. He let me borrow his whetstone. He's a nice guy. Our parents know each other very well. And congratulations, both of you, on getting this.
experiences with both of these guys, both great guys. Coming back from COVID, everything was a little shaky. I'd never really known James that well, but whatever it was, come back from Goshen, we were getting back into meetings, and it was just like, bang, like we were just instantly friends. And we went to Goshen, it was a great time. And then it really I really got to know James very, very well at Northern Tier. It was a lot of great experiences from being in that hotel room with Shahan, watching Impractical Jokers, jumping off cliff sides, you trying to talk to girls in the middle of Minnesota, all sorts of stuff. But I got to know James so well, and it's something I would never take back any of those experiences or any of that time that we spent getting to know each other, talking about stuff, just hanging out, and yeah, great dude. Richard, we have tons of scouting experiences together, very similar stuff. I don't think we were ever on the same crew on a high adventure. It was just a total bummer. But what we were teammates on the wrestling team. And a memory that I will not forget for many, many moons is my first match ever. No one was believing in me. I was kind of everyone was kind of silently yeah, you got this. But in their heads they were like, this kid's gonna get crushed. And I didn't. I won, and I was like, yeah. And then next up was Richard, and Richard was 190 pounds wrestling a guy that was 250 pounds, and I was like, he's gonna get crushed. Who allowed this? This is not this should not be a thing. And we were all kind of crossing our fingers, wondering what was gonna happen. And Richard went out there, and he weathered the storm, and he dragged the guy into deep waters. And in the second period, the guy could barely stand up. He was gassed out. Richard put him on his back, won the match, and it was an awesome feeling. It was both of our first matches. We both won, and it was just a great time. It was another thing where it's I'm so glad that even though we didn't really we didn't have any high adventures or anything together, we're so close over that. And yeah, these are both great guys. I'm very grateful for all the experience I've had with both of them. And yeah, have a great time at college.
Well, this is the first time I've been talking into a mic ever, so this is gonna be fun. I moved here 3 years ago now, and end of 2019. My first meeting was in I remember my third meeting was the Christmas celebration in 2019, and the first in-person meeting, I remember Richard was one of the first people I met, and I remember him being always so welcoming, so friendly to me, who was a brand new scout joining right at the end of COVID. So after the COVID years, I was going to school. I didn't know anybody. I was a sophomore in Walter Johnson, and I had nobody to go to. So one day I saw Richard at lunch, and I just started hanging out with him and his friends, Richard and Nicholas. Sometimes Kyle would hang around as well. And Richard has just always been a very welcoming presence for me. I remember him just randomly inviting me to do things with him, grad party, sharpening the katana. And yeah, even after he graduated from college, he still kept in contact with me, and it's just been really nice knowing him. Like I said, I moved here 3 years ago, so I don't really know James well, but I just met him this last meeting. And he was a very friendly guy. We did a bunch of cleaning up of some things in the troop together, and it was just a great conversation. We really hit it off in the last meeting. So congratulations to both of them. Have fun in college, and you are both great people.
All right. Well, thank you. So now it's time to hear from our new Eagle Scouts. The one thing I'll say is when these these young men started in post sixth grade, 11 years old. They do merit badges at Goshen, and then they get a little rank, and they get responsibility, and they're growing, growing, growing. And what are you trying to achieve? Do you remember? No, you're not trying to achieve evil. You're trying to achieve wisdom, okay? Wisdom, that's what this is all about. So now, first, I'd like Richard, forever known as number 128 in our hearts. He's the 128th Eagle of Troop 461. Is going to confer his words of wisdom to us. Thank you.
Scouting's always been a great part of my life. I remember in my old house, in my old neighborhood, I used to do Cub Scouts all the time. And after I moved here, I started Boy Scouts. And I can't overstate or understate how much Boy Scouts has been a huge part of your life. It's a one-time experience that you can never mimic anywhere else. And it's through the skills I've learned and the growth I've had throughout this, due to all the hardships, it's made me a changed person. I remember my first camp out. I was tiny, I was inexperienced, and it was whitewater rafting. And since I had no idea what was going on, I had never been on a big camp out before, I brought a suitcase to the camp out and had to roll it across the ground. But I still weathered the storm and made it through whitewater rafting, and it's still one of the most enjoyable experiences I had my whole scouting career. And these hardships I've faced throughout scouting, whether it be Philmont, where the clouds and mosquitoes bit me, and or Northern Tier, or no, Philmont, where we weathered a hailstorm. That was great. Remember that, Nicholas? Northern Tier, where we had to wear the same 2 changes of clothes for a week and a half, and ate very runny brownie mix. And Sea Base, where I fed the fish with Kyle so many times. It was such a great time. But these hardships change you fundamentally. You learn to grow past it. You get to learn from your mistakes. You get to be able to be prepared for whatever's happening to you. And you just get to become a better person overall. Get to know the people in your community. And I love these guys. These guys are great. But I want to say that this troop has changed me so much. I've seen leadership come and go, which has made me slightly sad, seeing people leave that imprinted so many values in our troop. But every time I see a new scout come into a meeting that I haven't seen before, it puts a smile on my face, because I know that they're going to experience something that no one ever has before. And I'm just telling, stick with it, and please, give it a chance. Even if you're there for the camp outs or your friends, you'll learn something, and those values will be brought with you throughout your whole entire life. I know when I was a scout, I always looked towards the people who were leading us, and I saw what worked, what didn't, and learned from that. And please, everybody, do that, and keep the troop going for years to come, and so that the generations and generations of scouts can come through and be inspired to be something more than our community. And I want to say a special thanks to all the adults and scout leaders, Mr. Lingle, Mr. Hill, Mr. Comainville, Mr. Roberts, Mr. LaQuesta, Mr. Rajapaksa, and especially Mr. LeCount. All of you guys have done such a great job in leading this troop and inspiring so many scouts to be more than who they are, to learn experiences and take risks. And I especially want to thank all the parents of the scouts for sacrificing your time and your money, because I know especially for my parents that they've put so many hours into helping me and into this troop to make sure that I had the best time I could.
Thank you, Richard. James, now's your chance to give us some words of wisdom. And James is forever known as number 129. James.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming today. It really means a lot to me for so many people to come here and take your time out of your day just to watch me get a badge. Really appreciate it. I started my scouting journey almost 12 years ago as a very tiny Cub Scout, going out on campouts that are only about 30 minutes away from my house. And now, not now, but 2 years ago, I went out canoeing Minnesota for over 100 miles out on the Finger Lakes of Minnesota. I would not have stayed with Scouting if it had not been for all the help and support that I received from the many adult leaders and other Scouts. I want to thank the adult leaders such as Mr. LeCount, Mr. Hill, Mr. Mainville, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Levery, Mr. Rajapaksa. They really helped me grow as a person, helped me guide my efforts towards great things, especially in campouts, and just, they're great. They have imprinted a lot of knowledge and wisdom on me. I really appreciate it. I also would like to particularly thank Mr. Lingle for kicking my butt as a young Cub Scout, keeping me focused and on track, which he continued to do 6 years later as a Life Scout, helping me to complete my Eagle Scout application. I would not have stayed a Life Scout. I would have stayed a Life Scout for life if it had not been for your mentorship. Thank you. I'm also grateful for all the Scouts and friends I met and with whom I shared all of these experiences with, all these campouts. It's been great, like 10, 12 years in Scouting. And after 12 years of Scouting, I'd say the biggest lesson I learned was perseverance. Either through physical challenges, such as Philmont, carrying half your weight. I mean, I was like 90 pounds. I'm pretty sure that the requirement to go to Philmont was you have to be at least 100, and I'll say I was on the line. Another great adventure was Northern Tier. Like Mr. Rajapaksa said, I was the orienteering person. It's pretty hard considering, well, at least in my opinion, all the trees look the same, all the waterways look the same, and all I had was no GPS, just a map and a compass. I'll say, I think we might have gotten lost a few times, but at least we made it through. Perseverance also helped me a lot through the later stages of the Eagle Scout application, especially in that last summer where I had to complete 4 merit badges and an Eagle Scout project before leaving for college and before my 18th birthday. Scouting has been a big part of my life. I'll take a lot of what I learned through Scouting with me for the rest of my life, and the biggest part of advice I give to younger Scouts is that if you hear about a merit badge that starts with personal, you start that early. Thank you.
Thank you, James. At this time, I'd like to call upon the Order of the Arrow, Keeper of the Flame, of the Eagle Flame, to extinguish the red, white, and blue Eagle candles. The Spirit of Scouting candle remains lit. Scouting spirit always remains burning. I now declare this National Eagle Court of Honor closed. I'd now like to invite Scoutmaster LeCount to come forward and conclude today's proceeding with the Scoutmaster's Minute.
Great, thanks very much, Mr. Lingle. And before I give a few closing remarks, or probably blend it all together here, I take my opportunity to say a few words as well. So both James and Richard, it's been truly an honor to have you in the troop and to have the honor of being your Scoutmaster during this time, especially during the exciting time when you both earned the rank of Eagle. And first of all, just thinking about some of our experiences together, I had the pleasure of being on 2 High Adventure with you, James, and actually all 3 with you, Richard. And the first one for both of us was Philmont. We have actually 2 members, a total of 3 members of the crew, the Scouts members here today. So that's really exciting to be able to have that. And I've seen really significant growth in both of you. and very proud of who you've become and what you are doing in your careers now in terms of college. But I'd specifically like to talk about your time in the troop. And when we think about what it means to be a scout, it's both that investment that you're putting into yourself, and it's the investment that many around you are providing and supporting as well. And you've talked about that, the many hours that you've had, many both uniform leaders, but many active adults that are supporting the scouting program. And that is all because folks are investing in scouts that want to be there and to learn about the program. And the adults are very privileged and very happy to provide that. When you have a scout that's eager to be there and to learn, that's a great experience. But what's really rewarding is then when you see that scout taking that gift and sharing it. And that's what we've seen, in the work that you've done. And that's the message I'd have for the scouts here today. We have our different roles and responsibilities within the troop. We have many formal roles. But what really makes a troop go is just all the support from scouts that are outside of the formal roles. We can have the formal roles and we can kind of just be going along and kind of just getting by. But what really kind of creates a special environment is when somebody is active and providing that support in very informal ways. I think we heard that today, from the scouts that were sharing some stories, and it shows you get it. And so we thank you for that, for making it an active troop and for all that you've provided for the troop. And I guess in going forward then, what I would say, specifically to you as we think about this is you've invested a lot in yourself, you've gained a lot from the experience, you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom as we were just talking about. So the question is, how do you want to use that? And you've already showed us about sharing that and helping others and leading others. And I just encourage you to think about that. And in many ways, I think sometimes we come out of scouting, we go into college, and we kind of think about this is the time we're investing in ourselves, and that's true. And maybe things like helping to support scouting or other types of volunteer work, that can wait. I'll get to that. But I'd encourage you to think about ways that you can continue to do that now, and we've seen that already. But just to share that point with you, because you have so much to contribute. We're seeing it, and I think you'll find that as you do that, it's not only helping those around you, but it's helping your growth as well. So I continue that you've heard it from both of you about keeping scouting with you, and I do believe that you'll do that. And again, think about those opportunities to share all that you've gained through the program. So again, thank you very much for your active participation throughout your time. Thank you. And with that, we'd like to close today's ceremony by inviting Senior Patrol Leader Anthony Levery to come forward. Thank you. Will the scouts in the audience please rise? Please follow me in reciting the Scout Oath and Scout Law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Will the color guard please come forward? Will everyone please rise? Color guard, retire the colors. Scout salute. Color guard, retire the colors. Two. Thank you, Anthony, and thank you to the color guard. And I've been asked to extend an invitation to everyone here by both Richard Hahn and James Alzona's families to please join in celebrating the accomplishment with some light refreshments we have here. And again, the Eagle binders are in the back, and I look forward to having a chance to chat with all of you. So we'll declare our today's events over and look forward to our social time. Thank you very much.
You want to get the tables back out, right?
Get a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.